Yes, this Sydney FFA Cup derby promises to be very special indeed. On one side, a Croatian-based club etched in folklore, having given an enormous amount since 1958. The other has only been around for a decade, and while at first glance they're worlds apart, the truth is their storylines are intertwined. Players on either side have lined up for the other, and two coaches who are both club greats for the opposition. The magic of the FFA Cup at its very finest.
Yeah, we've got Mark Bosnich there, Robbie Slater, Manus Lamont, and you'd recognise him. That's Graham Arnold when he had a great fro going. Combo, yeah, fro, mullet.
Mate, that were the days I wasn't coaching. The mullet and the moustache. Good memories.
It's a club that's strong. It's been a club that's been knocked down a few times, and it always gets up and it keeps going.
You know, I've always felt a real connection with the club, with the fans. It's a real family sort of club, and that's something that I think was probably lost in the early years. But the whole bling tag, I think, initially probably turned a lot of people away, which was unfortunate.
Milligan's ball. Beltrame hesitates. Surely Sydney are into the grand final, and Mark Rudan, the club captain, has led by example. What a goal from Rudan, and the Cove has gone crazy.
The combinations of the rivalry between the two clubs, even though it's totally different eras. You know, it's Mark Rudan coaching who played, and it's a club legend here at Sydney FC, Željko Kalac. He's now the goalkeeper coach, and we've got a Željko Kalac bar out there named after him.
I've been lucky enough to be here since inception. Prior to that, I was involved in the old National League for 13 years, 5 years with Sydney United. The connections are still there. My brother is the president of Sydney United. He's a restaurateur as well, so he's basically said that I'll have to pay for my meals from now on, and if we lose, there's no more freebies for family.
For Stan, how can I take that away from him, you know? He hasn't paid for one yet. I couldn't see him paying for one in the future.
The suburban grounds and, you know, the old NSL grounds, I guess, they really had a lot of atmosphere behind them. That was something as a kid I really enjoyed. You know, the fans, the way they celebrated, you know, is something that I'll never forget as a kid. So I think that'll come back.
You know, every time I go back out there, I get you know, great feelings and great reception.
I think walking down into the ground, he'll get a few handshakes, but you know, once the game starts, no, there'll be no love lost there, mate.
I was playing at Canterbury Marrickville and got transferred without even knowing.
I was marking Graham, and the coach said, look, he's a young bloke, give him a couple of kicks and see how he handles it, so scare him off the park. And I've gone and kicked Graham 2 or 3 times, and the more I kicked him, the more he wanted to come back for some more punishment. He was just a guy that never gave up. Then after about 15, 20 minutes, I've just gone to him and said, do you want to come to us and play for us? And he's looked at me, he said, you joking? He says, I'm going to arrange this. We want to get this guy. He's going to be a great player. Because that training the week after.
Football's sort of come along in leaps and bounds over the last 10 years, and for me, Sydney FC has been at the forefront.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Sydney FC. If you look at the reality of Sydney FC and what they've done for the A-League, they've spent the most money to advertise the A-League and put a stamp on the world map for football of what the A-League represents.
There is the final whistle. Well, they're the biggest, and now they're the best. Sydney FC are the champions of Australia. Steve Berry has Sturjowski free in the middle. Can he get there? 1-0, Sydney United.
Tony Popovic, Jason Chelina was here.
Ned Zelic, Mark Bosnich, Ante Milicic. The fact that they produced 56 to 58 international footballers for this country is enormous.
I was really fortunate to see Mile Jedinak when he first started coming to the fore, and I remember saying to Mila's dad, and I actually even said it to Branko, I said, Branko, this kid's going to make it. He can handle the pressure. Let him play. He was only 17. He's got that desire, that will to win.
A club that brought a lot of history to Australian football, and I think sometimes a lot of people just look back, this is the 10th year of the A-League, and forget everything that happened before that. The
people really had to roll their sleeves up and dig in deep and pay a lot of money and a lot of blood, sweat and tears to get their clubs on the paddock.
This board here does represent its ability to produce great players over the years. It's something that the club always strove for and proud of. You know, it really does say a lot for a small club in the scheme of things, but yet a club that we really believe is the biggest club in Australia.
It's the biggest and the best city in Australia, and we have the biggest club and the best supporters here.
Come game day, there'll be no sentiment there. We'll be both wishing each other the best of luck, but hoping that they lose.
We want to go on, you know, we're not finished. We feel, you know, we've got what it takes to go another step further. And if it's at the you know, demise of Sydney FC, then you know, unfortunately Stan's going to have to cop it on the chin.